From the seemingly ordinary, sometimes the extraordinary emerges. Consider an old radio tucked away on a dusty shelf, its vintage charm masking a secret ability to tap into frequencies that echo from beyond our known world. Imagine a teenager, curiosity piqued, tuning into these ethereal wavelengths. The silence of his room is shattered by whispers, not the whispers of a neighbor or the wind, but whispers from the afterlife. A chorus of spectral voices, each one a note in a symphony of the supernatural, weaves through the static. Drawn in by a force he can't explain, our protagonist stumbles upon a forgotten radio station. The machinery, long dormant, hums to life, amplifying the whispers until they fill the room, bouncing off the walls in a haunting melody. The teenager becomes more than merely a listener. He is a conduit, a bridge between the living and the place where these voices have their origin. The whispers guide him, leading him to the doorstep of a dilapidated haunted house. Here the whispers grow louder, morphing into anguished cries. Each cry tells a story, a tale of a soul trapped between worlds, desperate to communicate, to resolve their lingering ties to the world of the living. As the sun peaks over the horizon, the teenager, guided by a warning from the spectral symphony, finds himself at a sacred cemetery. Here the whispers reach a crescendo, revealing a chilling truth. The source of these voices, these stories, is a malevolent entity locked away beneath the gravestones, an entity yearning for release, for a way to break free from its spectral chains. And so the journey begins and ends with a radio, an instrument that tuned into frequencies beyond the normal spectrum, a teenager who listened, who acted as a conduit, and a sinister force unveiled with the dawn. A tale spun from the ether, a tale of echoes beyond the frequencies. Voiceover. The entity, once a mere whisper, now roars in the teenager's ears. The spectral chains that bound it shatter into 1,000 pieces, their echoes reverberating in the silence of the haunted house. The radio, a silent observer until now, crackles to life with the entity's triumphant laughter. It's a sound so chilling, so petrifying, that it makes the air in the room grow heavy with fear. A cold dread seeps into the teenager's bones, a chilling realization of what he has unleashed. And as the triumphant laughter echoes from the radio, the entity is unleashed. Voiceover. Armed with nothing but his courage and the radio, the teenager stands against the entity. The triumphant laughter turns into a snarl, a sound that reverberates in his bones, but the teenager remains unyielding. His fingers dance over the radio dials, tuning the frequencies, searching for a sound to combat the entity. The spectral symphony, once a chorus of whispers, now rallies behind him. Their whispers turn into a battle cry, their spectral voices filling the room, echoing in the silence of the haunted house. The battle against the entity has begun. Scene script voiceover. In the world of the supernatural, frequencies hold power. The teenager, in his relentless pursuit, stumbles upon a frequency that resonates with pure energy. The radio hums, pulsating with power, as the spectral symphony finds its voice. They sing a melody of hope, their spectral voices harmonizing with the frequency, creating a sonic barrier against the entity. The entity recoils, its menacing snarls turning into agonized screams. The teenager, with newfound confidence, watches as the spectral symphony sings a melody of hope. And the entity, once a terrifying force, is reduced to a wailing specter. Voiceover. The entity, once a roaring beast, is now a whimpering shadow. The teenager, channeling the power of the spectral symphony, turns up the volume. The melody of hope, amplified, echoes throughout the sacred cemetery. The entity recoils, its form dissipating under the intensity of the sonic barrier. Its terrifying roar is replaced by a feeble whimper, a sign of its imminent defeat. Just as the entity is about to vanish completely, spectral chains reform, wrapping around the entity, trapping it once more. A sense of calm descends upon the sacred cemetery as the spectral chains reform, trapping the whimpering shadow of the entity once more. Voiceover. As the first rays of dawn pierce the night shroud, the teenager stands victorious. The radio silent once more. The spectral symphony fades, their once haunting whispers now imbued with a sense of gratitude, a gentle hum that lingers in the morning air. With the entity defeated, the teenager leaves the sacred cemetery, the radio, now just a simple device tucked securely under his arm. Through the morning mist, the haunted house stands silent, its spectral inhabitants finally at peace. It's no longer a place of fear, but a monument of victory, a testament to the power of frequencies and the courage of a teenager. The haunted house stands silent, its spectral inhabitants finally at peace, their restless souls now free. A voiceover. As the teenager retraces his steps, he finds himself back at the threshold of his home. The journey that began with an enigmatic radio ends with the same device, now stripped of its otherworldly power. With a sigh of relief, he places it back on its dusty shelf. The radio, once a conduit to the supernatural, now stands as a silent testament to an unbelievable adventure. The teenager, now a hero in his own right, gazes at the innocuous device, a small smile playing on his lips. He's aware that his tale, woven with spectral whispers and unseen entities, is one that few would believe. Yet he finds comfort in the knowledge of his achievement, his smile widening. The radio might have returned to being just an old device, but for him, it will always be a symbol of courage, resilience, and the extraordinary power of frequencies. A voiceover. And so the tale of the echoes beyond the frequencies comes to an end. The radio, once a portal to an unseen world, now sits quietly on its dusty shelf, its secret known only to the teenager. The spectral symphony that once resonated through its speakers is now at peace, their whispers silenced, their stories told. The entity, a formidable force of the unknown, is now trapped, its roars reduced to mere echoes in the frequencies beyond. The teenager, our hero, gazes at the radio one last time before turning off the lights. The echoes beyond the frequencies, now a part of his past, will forever remind him of his journey from an ordinary teenager to an unsung hero.